I hope you're having a beautiful Wednesday morning. Good morning, you're listening to the Fatboy Show on RX Radio, and we're broadcasting to you from the capital city of Uganda, a city known as Kampala, where people have unfortunately taken up a form of activism known as Slacktivism. Slacktivism is all the rage now, and unfortunately it's being fueled by certain organizations who believe that the best way for Ugandans to participate in civic life and in improving their country is to just be a keyboard warrior. So what's the definition of slacktivism? Let me explain it to Olive in case she doesn't know. Do you know a slacktivist?
No.
So slacktivism is taking social action online in ways that involve little personal effort and yield little results.
Little results.
That's being a slacktivist. You're basically just wasting time making noise on the internet, hoping for change, believing you're doing actual work, yet in reality you're doing nothing. So anyway, civil society organizations are asking Ugandans to continue being slacktivists. Well, that's not the word they chose. Instead, they said for Ugandans to continue utilizing social media platforms to fight injustices in public offices. So the civil society organizations under the auspices of the Ugandan National NGO Forum are responding to reports of extortion at Entebbe International Airport. We've really exhausted this topic. And as you may know, the outrage that was expressed by people obviously caught the attention of the Civil Aviation Authority people, who arrested and sacked several of the staff that were implicated. So this is why they're saying, guys, please utilize social media to fight these injustices. I don't know. I just feel like this is going to open the floodgates of the demons that are just going to be unleashed upon the peace-loving citizens of the internet who just want to go online and enjoy funny memes and the jokes and weird videos. Instead, now we're going to be met with self-righteous indignation by hordes of slacktivists who have nothing better to do with their time.
Nothing better to do with their time. I believe, and of course you and I disagree on this, but I believe that there is something there. I believe that we can use our voices, our phones to bring about certain changes in different places. I'll give you an example. Away from the Civil Aviation Authority saga, there was also another saga last week of a lady who says that she went to Simba Telecom at Garden City to withdraw mobile money, about 7 million. And then something happened. She put in her PIN, but then the agent at the Simba Telecom counter said, I am not the one that has taken the money from your phone. Probably someone else was listening. I don't know if you saw that story. So anyway, it went viral. She posted it in different groups. It went viral. And she had been, what should I call it? You know, when you go to a place and then they tell you go here and then go here, but she didn't get help.
Take you in circles.
Exactly. But then after that that post went viral, guess what happened?
What?
MTN and Simba Telecom came to her rescue and gave her money, and they said they will carry out internal investigations after. So tell me that social media didn't help her.
Well, perhaps in that specific case, it did. It's just like, and I think I mentioned it on yesterday's program, is that normally whenever we hear expressions of outrage, it usually tends to be one-sided. So what if it is discovered after an investigation is carried out? Because let's not forget, this can go both ways. Some people can be fraudulent. Do you remember the scandal involving Cafe Javas and the rat in the milkshake? Mm-hmm. Who can forget that, right? Mm-hmm. Where someone engaged in that form of activism. You know, they took to social media to decry an injustice that was done to them. And, for Cafe Javas, for them, they had to come out with videos timestamped videos that showed the person in the cafe and how the milkshake was made and how they could have not possibly been a rat in there. And actually, the way that story turned out, Cafe Javas kind of was vindicated, weren't they? Whereas initially people were quick to agree with the footage.
Not everyone. Actually, what I remember is that some people, and I have a feeling
we saw the memes, we saw the jokes.
We did.
A lot of people were
don't mean that
angry at Javas.
No, there were people who were angry. There were people who were suspicious of Javas. But then I also remember many more that defended Javas. Even
myself included.
You went there, you took a milkshake and posted it to confirm that you do not believe the other person. So
See, I was also being a slacktivist.
Exactly. So it depends on which side you're at. But we can use social media. Like that story I told you a few weeks ago, I think last week, of some guy who had worn out tires on his car, and he was stopped by a traffic police officer he said he wrote him a ticket, and the guy took to Twitter saying that how could he write me a ticket yet I had new tires in my trunk. And people on the internet were like, the tires are supposed to be on your car, not in your trunk. So the guy was right. And at the end of the day, the person who went to Twitter didn't get what they thought they were going to get.
My point is, it's all just noise and drama.
It is not noise.
It's
It
drama.
is not noise. Honestly, what better suggestion do you have? If the government agencies are not helping, how should we, the citizens, help ourselves?
Well, the Alliance for Finance Monitoring believes that in the current context where the political establishment and anti-corruption agencies seem powerless in curbing vices such as corruption, that it is time for citizens to be empowered to advocate for their rights, and they should do so by using social media, among other things. That citizens should rise up and utilize social media to push for changes and correct the wrongs in society. He says, the more we share, the more we shall build knowledge and instigate and encourage citizens to occupy their rightful mandate as prescribed in the Constitution of Uganda.
Yes.
I don't know, man. Do something more productive. Work on your hustle. Do your business. Make some money.
Now, in this instance, the story I shared, the first story, this person worked on her hustle. She went, actually in the post, she says that I went to Garden City because I hoped that was a safe place to withdraw such a huge amount of money.
But also there's an element of carelessness when it comes to doing mobile money. Me, whenever I'm withdrawing mobile money and let's say I mention how much I would like to withdraw, and then I receive a prompt and it shows up that, such and such is requesting withdrawal of such and such money. I normally ask the agent, so it says, I don't know, ABC Traders Limited. Is this you? Then when she says yes, and then I authorize. You get it?
Mm-hmm.
But if you're just going to agree to or respond to or approve any prompt that pops up in your phone without verifying with the agent whether or not it's the correct one, then you're opening up yourself to risk of being robbed. Isn't there an element of... are you telling me you don't do that when you go to a mobile money agent?
The lady said...
When she says a deposit or withdraw,
she was at the agent's, and the place was almost empty. There were other people, but not in line with her. But the lady asked for her number and asked for her number again, and even confirmed her name.
Wait. Okay, so you're saying, because, and this has happened to someone I know, where the money was stolen by someone who was eavesdropping.
So that's what they were claiming, but then again they refused to offer certain information when she asked for it. She was like, okay, if it's not you guys that have taken my money, then at least give me your agent ID so that when I go to MTN, because they told her to go to Forest Mall, she was like, if I go there, I need them to know and check to be sure that it's not you guys that have initiated a payment.
Okay, but my question is, could she not have still accomplished that without going to social media? Are there not channels through which she could have traced?
She actually first went to all those channels. She went to Forest Mall where they sent her at first, and then they sent her somewhere at Kampala Road, and then they sent her back to Forest Mall, and then they made different calls and nothing yielded. So she went to social media. And it was after her post went viral that she got the money. So she came back and said, thank you so much for everyone that made the post go viral, because I finally got my money.
Wow. Okay, so social media...
Let me ask you, Fatboy, you love social media. If something like that happened to you and you did everything humanly possible to get your money back, wouldn't you go to social media and
Have you ever
about
seen me going to social media to complain about service?
Because you've not lost 7 million shillings. Or maybe you know people in certain places that can just make a phone call. Everyone is like
it means
you.
I'm not sloppy. I don't get played. You can't play me.
The perfect fat boy. Here
you can't
we go.
play me. You can't defraud me, and I start going on social media
so you
crying.
think the people they defraud, even from banks, are stupid?
Well, and again, I say we never get to know the full details. We only hear one side of the story.
So if your money was on your account and suddenly the bank tells you someone withdrew your money and they're insisting it was you,
Wait.
is that you being sloppy?
So, like in the Cafe Javas case, it was alleged by, I don't know if it's Javas who said it or it was their supporters, that actually these people actually took the rat and put it in the milkshake themselves. That's what was, and as extreme as that sounds, if we were to examine their possible motives for having done that, it could be sabotage. It could be anything.
It was sabotage, but that story is not new. You've heard of people who go to a restaurant and drop maybe an ant into the food or the juice, and then they are given something
a
fresh.
Cockroach.
Or a cockroach. That story is not new. Only that this person went extra and brought a rat.
So, but at least you agree you have to be careful, right?
No, I know you have to be careful, but the thing is
you don't
that
just believe everything you see.
When you say careful, you also go ahead and say that people are just being sloppy. Sometimes people are not sloppy.
Okay, sometimes. I'll give you that. Well then, continue being a slacktivist and add your fair share of noise pollution to the online space.
Oh,
and
guy,
give everyone
you
a
guys
headache.
are always making noise about submission and whatnot. We might as well use that space to do something that helps everyone.
Social media is for posting nyash, okay? Not over complaining about things that are wrong in
And
society.
yes, it's you guys that are always complaining. Women this, women that. Like, you guys make so much noise.
So what? You're calling the boy child movement a slacktivist organization?
Too much noise. Because you say that and then you go on the side and start begging your women. What was that guy's name? The chick that the guy was begging for forgiveness in a hostel?
Yeah.
You may find that among his friends he used to say, I can't beg a woman. I can't ask a woman to forgive me.
And yet, when no one is watching,
he's begging
on his knees. Well, try and be a better person in 2023, okay? And keep listening to your number one station, RX Radio.